Hey everybody, happy first day of spring. I'm just gonna hop on here. I wanted to give you a little update I wanted to give you guys a little update of my seedlings and how they're looking and what's going on with them. A couple of issues I've had and a couple of tips that I've picked up along the way to help you when you're growing them. So first of all, I'm gonna start out down here. I got this little watering can and this barbecue sauce bottle. They also sell plain ones at Walmart. They're 97 cents. I just like a little bit color with mine. I just thought they were cool and pretty looking. And also have a dual purpose. So anyways, I put water in the watering can and then I fill this little bottle up and it makes it easier to water my seedlings is what it does, because if you took that big watering can and you tried to get into these seedling cells with it, you're just gonna wash the water out. If you have seeds in there, you're gonna take the risk of washing the seeds out, and it's just a big mess. So I just like to use that little bottle. You have to fill it up usually a few times depending on how many seedlings you have. I have quite a few trays, so it usually takes me about 10 minutes altogether to water them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I've got going on. What I did this morning too is I took the scissors. I like to use these little kid ones because it's easy to get in here. And I went in and I trimmed small ones. You know, maybe there were some little ones that were just now coming up, but I have all of these big ones, so I don't need those sucking the energy and the nutrients from the ones that I have big here already. So I went ahead and just trimmed them. See, here's one right here. I went ahead and just trimmed that out and got rid of it. So because I won't need it. So these guys here are actually big enough almost to go ahead and transplant. See, they're getting their second sets and even a third set of leaves coming on here. So I will probably be transplanting these guys here soon. Sorry, you hear this chair I'm leaning against. But here I have Amish. These are Amish sweet Italian peppers. Here, these are Amish sweet Italian peppers. These are from seeds that I saved from the peppers that I got at the Amish market last year. That's why they're called Amish sweet Italian peppers, because I don't know, I wanted to keep them identified separately from my other peppers. So I have these here that did pretty well with germination, and I have these here which did really well with germination. I have these back here are also Amish sweet Italian peppers, and as you can see, they didn't do quite as well. These here are banana peppers, and these are from seeds that I saved from my Bonnie banana pepper plant that I bought last year. So I saved these seeds, and as you can see, they germinated quite well too. I wasn't quite sure what they were going to do because it took a little while for them to come up. I almost thought that they weren't going to, but as you can see now, they're quite filled in here. So back here, I have my mini bell peppers. You see, I planted those on the 5th of February, and today is the 21st of March. And I just now have another one of those coming up. So peppers really kind of just do whatever they want. Over here, those are just a couple of seeds I took that fell off over here in these and threw them over here. These are the Amish sweet Italian peppers here, but as you can see, none of these germinated. So I'm probably going to go ahead and ditch the rest of these seeds since obviously none of them are going to germinate. Over here, I have some more mini bell peppers. These were planted the 17th of February, and I've got quite a few of these popping up here. Here I have my marigolds. They're doing really well. So I'm pretty pleased with these. This down here, I don't know what this is. I don't know if this guy is going to be a marigold or what he's going to be, but I'll probably, I don't know, I'm thinking about letting him grow, but I don't want him sucking nutrients from my other ones, so I might go ahead and just snip him out. But that was just, I saw that this morning. I thought that was kind of interesting. So back here, my cucumbers, as you can see, cucumbers are funny with growing in these small seed starting trays. They require a lot of water. So if you don't keep them properly taken care of, they usually won't make it as far as transplanting goes. I'm not really worried about it though, because cucumbers, once you direct sow them outside, they generally grow pretty fast. So if none of these make it, I'll be all right with that. It was just kind of more of an experiment to see. But I do have 4 of my munchers back here, and none of my market moors made it. So these here were supposed to be mild jalapeno peppers I got from the Amish market, and none of them have germinated, so I don't think that they are going to. I do keep trying to put water on them to see if they're going to come up, but it's not looking good. So I did buy some jalapeno seeds, and I'm going to go ahead and just try planting those and going from there with that. Here are my Brussels sprouts, which they're planted like this in these containers because I had an issue when they were younger seedlings. They got really leggy really fast. I asked, and some people said you can transplant them, and a bunch of others said you're going to have to start over. There was kind of like a little debate going on about it, so I just decided to experiment with it, and I went ahead and took the leggy ones and transplanted some of them just to see what was going to go on, because I wasn't worried about it, because you know what, if it didn't work out, I would just direct sow them as well. So as you can see, I have took the leggy ones, transplanted them into these containers, and they have been thriving and surviving. So now I know in the future that will work. Coming over here, I have my zinnias. Now, these peat pots, or cells, whatever you want to call them, I will never use these again. I am not a fan of these. You know, I got these last year on clearance, and I was really excited to try them out, but me and these peat pots, we are not friends. So as you can see, I only have 4 of my zinnias left. I have just a few marigolds in here. Now look at these marigolds and how they're doing in here versus these marigolds and how they're doing in here. So see, there's a big difference with this. So needless to say, I'm not going to use these ever again. Over here, my cinnamon basil is doing well. My red cherry tomatoes back there, they need to be transplanted if they're going to make it. Over here, I had my orange sun peppers. They died. So I guess I'm not going to have any of those this year. Back here are my grand bell peppers. They're doing okay for right now. I did notice this morning that one in the back was wilted and was dying. So these guys are a little bit small, but I may go ahead and try to transplant them to get them out of this peat pot, because the peat pots just aren't working out well. So up here, herbs this year is my first time, and I am not being successful with most of them. I probably need to do some research and see what's going on. Chives up here, some of them are doing okay, and as you can see, some of them are looking like the struggle is real. So over here, my basil, the same thing. All I have is this one little one here that's doing good. I only had just a few came up. You see these back here, they died. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Over here with the rosemary, the same thing. I never had any mint come up. That never came up. The Kobashi peppers, I have a couple of them came up back here, and my dwarf red robin tomatoes. As you can see, this one here is struggling, and these over here seem to be struggling a little bit. So I may go ahead and replant those into their pots that they're going to permanently stay in, because they're a small tomato. They won't need a humongous pot, and I'll show you in a second which pots I'm going to be using for those. Over here, I had mini bell peppers and Kobashi peppers, and none of those have come up yet. I did just plant those on the 12th of February, so maybe some will still come up and maybe they won't. Over here, I have a bunch of tomatoes that need to be transplanted. They're very tall. I'm not worried about them being leggy, because when I transplant them all the way down into the transplant pots, and that helps to thicken the stem, because if you didn't know it, see these little hair looking things? Let me back up a little bit so it'll focus. See these little hair looking things on the stem here? These will actually grow roots. So if you plant that down in, as deep down in as you can get it, that will root and it'll help strengthen your stem. Tomatoes actually, back in the day, were meant to tip over and sprawl along the ground. But when you do that, along comes issues with bugs and other things, getting your vegetables. So that's why these days we stake them up. Here I have lemon bee balm, which that's actually doing pretty well. And over here I have Tabasco peppers, which are actually doing pretty well. Here I have a few of my tomato transplants. And I'm just going to show you out here real quick. The other day I transplanted my strawberries, and I also have pansies that I went ahead and planted in here. So over here, these are the pots that I'm going to be using for those dwarf red robin tomatoes I was talking about. It's just like I don't know if it's a 6-inch pot or an 8-inch, 6-inch, a 6-inch pot, and they will do well in this. This is my table that I use for my plants. So over here, real quick, I'm just going to show you guys. I have squash up here and these sand pails that I actually turned into planters. Over here, I have my potatoes. Whenever I go to plant those, I have deep containers that I'm going to be planting them in, because I am doing mostly a container garden this year. I'm going to have a couple of raised beds, but my potatoes are going to go into a plastic container, a big plastic tote. So I'm not worried about those. I'll plant them deep, cover them up, and they'll be good to go. And they're going to vine up a trellis. Here I have all of my tomato transplants, which these are actually doing well after being transplanted. As you can see, the stems are getting thicker, and they're doing quite nicely. Again, with the transplants with the tomatoes, you want to get them deep down into the soil, up to the first set of leaves. So that way everything below will take root, and you'll end up with a strong, nice plant. So I think that was all that I wanted to share with you guys today. Some of my things didn't do well, but most of them did, and that's just the way that it goes sometimes. No harm, no foul for me. I'm looking forward. It's the first day of spring, like I said, so I'm looking forward to getting these babies out as soon as it warms up enough here in Southeast Tennessee. So that's all for today, and I'll talk to you guys later.